I've been doing welcome pages since my first proper sketchbook, meaning I've overcome the fear of the first page 5 times, and it's time to do it again. Right now, I'm showing you all the different welcome pages that I made in the past few years, and I'm trying to get inspired by my past self for today's drawing. I don't have many ideas yet, but the pattern I've noticed in my past welcome pages is that I usually draw a girl, which is not surprising, and I've drawn myself a couple of times, so I think I might use that to start off. This is just something I do for fun. I think drawing with waffles was the one who inspired me to make my first page something special. Of course, you can just treat the first page like any other page, but it's nice to have a page that marks the beginning of the sketchbook, so why not? A lot of people get stressed out by the first page, and fair enough, because it kind of sets the mood for the whole sketchbook, and I guess you wouldn't want to see a drawing that you don't like every time you open it up to draw, but it doesn't have to be stressful. In fact, it's almost better if it's bad, because then you'll be able to see your improvement from beginning to end once you finish every page. So there's no need to worry about it at all, it's just a really fun activity that I like to do. You might want to plan out your first page and do some tiny thumbnails just to know what you're getting into, but I just went into it with no plan whatsoever, and I drew a little self-portrait, and I just kept adding and adding things that I thought would look good, and the final product ended up pretty good. I did struggle a lot throughout the whole thing though, as you'll see, but it was super fun, and hopefully you can get some tips out of this and some inspiration to do your first page. I attempted to do a 3/4 angle for the face so that it looked a bit more interesting than what I usually do, but the proportions are just slightly off, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. I think it's the positioning of the eyes, but it has a weird Disney princess vibe. I think it's the hair and the way she's holding the book. It kind of reminds me of Belle, but yeah, the face is just annoying me for some reason. Anyway, to explain the idea that I chose to do for this drawing, basically, it's meant to be like the opening screen of a cute little game, so I've got myself saying, "Hey everyone, it's Minty," like I do in pretty much every video now, and then once I'd written that, I decided to put a play button because it would be like, you know, you press the play button and then you like enter the sketchbook. I don't know, I thought it was really cute. And then I also put an exit button, which I didn't really have a plan for. But then at the end, I realized that I forgot to leave a space for the start and the end date of the sketchbook like I usually do. But then I remembered the play button and the exit button and how that is just way too perfect. So I jotted down the start date, which was the 26th of February 2021, in the play button space, and when I finish the sketchbook, I'm going to put the end date by the exit button, so it's like you're leaving the game, which is the sketchbook. Isn't that so cool? I don't know, I'm kind of proud of myself for thinking of that idea. If you want to make the perfect welcome page, you definitely don't need to draw a character unless you want to. So here's a method which will be way less stressful than that. All you need is a title and a background. For the title, you can find a cute font from a website like DaFont and copy it out, or you can make up your own font. You can write "Welcome to my sketchbook" or something along those lines. I just wrote Sketchbook 6. Then for the background, it can be really simple. If you don't have any ideas, just try grabbing your favourite colours and make it abstract. I chose pink, yellow and turquoise, and I just drew some random blobs everywhere. And if you do that, there's not much that can go wrong, and you'll probably end up loving the result without doing much work. You'll see the result of that later on though. I'm still drawing the character. And the hair took absolutely ages because of all the layers, and I kept going back to make it darker because it still looked more on the blonde side, but at the end, I think that I got the right colour. It still might be a little bit light, but then again, with markers, you can't really mix your colours or anything. You just have to layer and hope for the best. If you're really stuck for ideas, I think a fun thing to do would just to find a theme for your drawing by maybe going on Pinterest, or even using a random generator. You could use food, like fruit or something, or I don't know, it could be literally anything, and you just draw that all over the first page, make a character based off that, anything, just make it all about that little theme that you chose, and everything will look good together. No matter how good the art is, if you have a theme, it will go together and it will end up looking good anyway. Another quick tip if you're stuck for ideas is just to head over to Melon Doodle's channel. She's a small YouTuber, and about a year ago, I don't know, it was quite a while ago that she made a few short videos about ideas on how to fill the first page of your sketchbook. So if you're really stuck, you could head over to her channel and see if that inspires you. For the letters in Sketch, I chose pink and yellow and I made a gradient with them. I just love how the two colours look together and they blend really easily when you use lighter versions, and it's just so soft and it kind of reminds me of a sunset or just summer in general. I don't know, it's probably my favourite colour combination ever, but then I decided to change it up for the second part of the word. I don't know why I split up the word sketchbook. It is one word, but I made it into two. And for the second one, I ended up doing a turquoise and pink, which I also love, but not as much as the pink and yellow. Once I finished drawing, I realised that I made a pretty big mistake, but I was lucky because basically I forgot to use the protective sheet throughout the whole drawing. So at the end I was so scared that the drawing on the next page would be covered in ink, but luckily there wasn't a single splatter. If there was ink going through onto the next page, I would have actually been really annoyed because the next page in the sketchbook is the collaboration that I did with Hershey Draws, because this isn't the first drawing I've done in the sketchbook. I've already done a few, I just left the first page. But yeah, I'm really glad that this didn't get any ink onto the other pages. Lately I've noticed that I always prefer the writing that I do over the actual drawings that I create. I don't know why, I just feel like, well, whenever I write the name of the character, I do it in a random font. I just get some marker out, try to make it look kind of cute. I only spend a few minutes on it, but I think it's the effortlessness that actually makes me love it so much. And yeah, that's what happened with this. I prefer the writing over the actual character, which is not necessarily bad, but it's kind of odd. I just wanted to point that out. The more that I look at the face that I drew, the less that I like it. I guess it's my fault for not properly checking the proportions early on, but it's okay. I think that the background ends up making up for that mistake anyway. I was watching Sam Does Arts while filming, you should check him out by the way, and he always recommends to cover up half the face while drawing to check if the other side of the face matches up to how you imagine it. So I did that, and surprise, the face was not in the right place, so I think I should have done that earlier on when I was sketching it out so I could still rub it out, but I didn't really think to do that until it was too late. Oh well. Ever since I've changed to this more sketchy style, a couple of people have asked me what kind of pens I use now. Not the markers, I still use Ohuhu as normal, but I don't use the Staedtler fine liners anymore. I've changed to these Bic coloured biros. There's my broken biro there. Yeah, they're just some cheap pens. You can buy them on Amazon. I don't know how much they were, but they were pretty cheap. So if you wanted to try that, then yeah, I recommend them. I just searched up Bic coloured biros and I think it was a 12 pack. So if you want that, go have a look. It's really useful for hatching as well as lining, because when you have a mistake or the blending's not very good, you can literally just cover it by hatching and it hides it. I know that's kind of a cheat, but I do it all the time and it does look pretty good in my opinion. As you can see, I literally hatched everywhere. I hatched all over the letters on the words because the blending wasn't too good there, and just adding the lines distracts from that bad blending. So yeah, in that time I was talking, I added so much to the background. So here are the coloured blob squares that I was talking about. I just used my favourite colours, and the letters are done, the play button, the exit button, and the speech bubble is done. So I added some little doodles all over it in my pink biro, and it turned out better than I was imagining it. Even though I don't like the character too much, I love the final result. And I used a Posca pen for highlights this time because my usual small white gel pens wouldn't work. They were a bit too thin to work on the letters, so I brought out my thick Posca and that worked really well. I love how three-dimensional the letters look. They look really bubbly and I just love that. So yeah, that's my process for attacking the first page of a sketchbook, and I love the result. I hope you like it too. Comment down below if you find the first page kind of scary, and here are the shout outs and the shout out emoji. Bye!